Hey, good morning. Ryan Martz here, Martz Leadership Services. Hot here in St. Louis. Today we're talking about directing indirect results. I try to spend most of my counsel usually in the realm of athletics, business, or ministry. Typically the common theme is relationship building, personal development, leadership development, communication. And I'm going to talk about those three categories today and give an example of what I mean by directing indirect results. So in the athletic realm, the issue is free throw percentage, 63%, 47%. Oh, let's not bring up Shaq's. Whatever the percentage is, it's not good. You can pull out the stat sheet as a coach and say 63%, 63%, 63%, and you're hounding on something that is already known. You're hounding on a fact that this is what it is, and you're just hounding on it. Now, I know 1 + 1 = 2. And sometimes you just got to be direct about things, and you just got to lay it out there, and life is accounting, and everything has to add up black and white. But when you're dealing with the human element, you can't always just say, hey, I'm going to, move it this direction and get that result at the end of the story. The reality is when you're dealing with, let's say, that 63%, 47%, an effective way to get results is to pull that person off the stat sheet, pull that person away from the 63%. I had a coach, one of the very influential coach that I had when I was younger, above and beyond the team, spend time one-on-one with me, and he would play one-on-one with me for fun and build that confidence, take me home late afterwards. And if you can take that player, spend a little one-on-one time with him, do something even different, play one-on-one with him, do something totally different, go to a ball game, watch it together, buy a popcorn and eat it together, do something to spark and inspire that relationship, that confidence in that young person again, and you'll be amazed at what kind of results can happen just from time spent together and sparking that self-confidence. Now, especially if they've had good form before. Now, if they haven't had good form, and you're thinking, every time you shoot, you're 5 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 5 out of 10. Instead of focusing on the result, move back, slow down, and go to the form. Who cares if the shot's made or missed? Let's talk about the form. Let's talk about the flow. Let's talk about getting the feel of the shot, the shooter's feel, the shooter's touch. And when you get to the root of something, when you direct your energy, not necessarily just on the bullseye of the result, but do it in ways and methods and relationship building avenues that are indirect. They don't seem to be concentrating on that result. We can be amazed as leaders the type of results that start to flow when we're working from that angle and perspective. Let's jump ahead to ministry, actually, before business. When I was younger, I worked in a lot of roles and positions in the church world, and I spent so much of my energy on trying to get people to come to church. And they might be newer to God, newer to faith, whatever. And, the reality is, a very common thing that we hear in American culture is get to church, get to church, get to church. And the reality is, if that person is hearing you knock on the door over and over again about that, and it's this hounding thing of get to church, they're not perceiving your words as you're perceiving your words. That connotation, that feeling that they're getting, what their idea of church might be different from your idea. So a more effective avenue of leadership is to take time out of your own day as a leader on Wednesday, have a cup of coffee with the person, and don't talk about church. If you really want them to get to church, don't talk about it. Have coffee with them. Talk about fishing. talk about the hairdo, talk about family. And you know what? And if you really want to take the shovel and get deeper, talk about God, talk about trust, talk about faith, talk about mission and giving back. That energy, that is what creates a spark where someone is like, whoa, let me hang out with you more. Let me go to that place that you call church again. Let's move ahead to business to tie this all together. When I was in college, a professor or whoever asked, what's the purpose, number one goal of business? And everyone's trying to give their philosophical answer. I'm sure I was trying to think of something creative. We all were. And he was like, hey, it's to make money. That's what the bottom line is. So the bottom line in business is to make money. And you're like, holy cow, this is our accounting sheet. This is our accounting status. This is our accounting status. This is where we're at financially. If all you do is hone in on that particular fact, that your buffer between credit and debit is not where you want it to be, you are gonna absolutely wear yourself out. And in the meantime, you're losing precious time and energy and health on that when you could be spending it on action and mentality and purpose that will actually increase your bottom line eventually. So when we talk about this in the business realm, when we know that's the result, and yes, we have to focus in 1 + 1 = 2, and there is accounting and there's black and white about it. We have to talk about it. But again, directing indirect results. If I'm wanting a result, I'm intentional. I'm directing my energy in a different avenue where it seems unintentional for that result, but the result is that result. So if I, as a business leader, focus my time on company morale, culture, team energy, chemistry, individual health, individual wellness, satisfaction in the workplace, the overall atmosphere and environment for individuals in group settings. That type of atmosphere, when you can get someone, a team, an individual, in a place where they're feeling confident, where they're feeling valued, where they're feeling worth, a beautiful thing happens called creativity. And when you have creativity, and when you have a free spirit, a free mind to be able to operate and feel valued, ideas start to flow. And when you have that creative force, that creative mind, that creative spirit with an individual, such as a player, with an individual that you're trying to work with as far as just life goes, or if it's an employee, a team environment, when that creativity starts to happen and there's that health, there's that wholeness, that is when you have an atmosphere that can produce healthy, more sustained results. So again, the message here is, if I want a result, if we can spend some of our time as leaders directing, so I'm intentional about it, directing our efforts unintentionally, seemingly, to get the result, that is the beauty of leadership. You're not focused on just the result. You're directing indirect results. You're directing your behavior toward the roots, towards the life, towards the health, towards the atmosphere. And by doing so, the natural result are the desired results. Is that person increasing their field free throw percentage? Is that person developing a strong, healthy, life of faith? Or is that team or that individual employee getting to a more productive spot in the work environment? So I just want to encourage us as leaders to, if we have certain results that we're looking for and we're busting our heads against the wall trying to get it, I encourage us to pull back, take a fresh look at it, and direct our energy toward other things: the roots, the culture, the atmosphere, time spent, quality time, just overall health, and those other results will follow. We appreciate you being part of the Mars Leadership Services, checking us out, partnering with us, giving us a high five here and there, and we believe in you. Thanks so much.